Welcome back to another episode of Muscogee Creek TV. Drone shots, North Florida, beautifully filtered. And if you are a regular watcher of my videos, then you are in a class by yourself and a unique individual, because I do not have a lot of viewers, and that's just fine. That's just fine. In fact, you might even be saying to yourself, oh man, not another drone shot video from Mexico Beach or Cape San Blas or St. George Island or wherever you guys are this time. I'm tired of watching the drone videos. Well, that's okay. I mean, personally, I never get tired of it. I'm fascinated with drone shots. There's all different kind of places I like to go to get beautiful drone shots, not just the beach, but the lakes, the mountains, the city, wherever. A drone is a flying video camera, and you never know what you're gonna happen onto. You never know what you're gonna see when you're at that bird's eye view. So, but anyway, this just happens to be one of those videos in which the visual imagery is merely eye candy anyway. The true content, or the true intended content of this video, is about what I'm going to say anyway. It's not so much about the actual video at all, but when it comes to certain subjects on YouTube, one must act and move in a rather stealthy manner, especially when it comes to politics, geopolitics, and current events. It requires a bit of a coded language and a little bit of, how do they say, tongue in cheek. And so, without getting too political right off the bat, let me just say that if you are what they call a left-wing voter or left-wing ideologue, then you, my friend, you are a fucking idiot. A fucking idiot. And a danger to democracy. Yes. The downfall of nations. Throughout history, over and over and over again, empires and kingdoms have fallen because of idiocy among the populace. Now, we've been watching this happen in slow motion like a train wreck here in the United States for years and years. And we've been trying to warn people what was going to happen, what was going to unfold as a result. Hey, there's a couple of old Florida redneck whores right there. I saw those girls several times that day. They were drunk. Anyway, like I was saying, those of us on the quote-unquote far right were trying to warn everyone for years and years the disasters and the catastrophes that would result from this lunacy, this communist revolution that slowly developed in our country, starting somewhere in the early 2000s during the Bush administration and culminating in the mid-2000s during the installment of this puppet, this communist ideologue Obama, this eternal piece of crap who we instantly knew was an operation, a psychological operation against our country. Take a look at what they've done to our country in the last 4 years. Just take a look at all the people they've brought in. Now, you'll hear different numbers, especially from the mainstream media. You'll hear as little as 4 or 5 million. Some places you'll hear 11 million, 12 million. None of those are even close to the truth. It's 25 million plus. This is an unprecedented crime against humanity, a crime against the people of this country. We have every legal and moral justification to go boogaloo bang bang on these mother effers for what they've done to this country. We have every legal and moral justification to go boogaloo bang bang on the people that were brought in. Because let me tell you something. A lot of these people And when I say a lot, I mean a majority of them were let out of foreign prisons and foreign mental institutions and brought here in some gigantic conspiracy involving collusion between those in our federal offices and those in those foreign governments working together against the people of this country. We have every legal and moral justification to take the most drastic measures imaginable. These people weren't brought here for cheap labor. You think that all these people were brought here for cheap labor to do the work that Americans would no longer do? Then you're even stupider than you look. You sound like a right-wing extremist. Oh, do I? Well, I don't have a wing, unlike you, you fucking idiot. I don't have a wing. I'm a constitutional centrist. All I want to do is be left alone by government, be allowed to raise my family, to worship whoever I want, and to live my life the way that I see fit, in accordance with God's law, and not the God that you worship, by the way, Mr. Left-wing atheist pedophile, many of whom aren't even atheists at all, but outright Luciferians, Satanists. That's right. We know who you are. We're watching you, and we're just waiting till the time is right. And if nobody steps in and does the job for us, we're gonna do the job. And it ain't gonna be pretty either. And you can take that any way you want. I'm not gonna spell it out for you, scum. But you know who you are. You know you're scum. More importantly, we know who you are, and we know you're scum. And when the time is right, farewell and adieu to your first Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to your ladies of Spain. For we've received orders to sail back to quarters, and ne'er shall we see ye again. Know what I mean? Because over the last 2 or 3 decades, we've seen an outbreak of lawlessness and unethical behavior, violent crime, like this country's never seen before. And it's all attributable to you people, your politics, and your incompetence, and your immorality. We're going to do something about it. We've had enough of it. One thing that's slowly but surely beginning to catch on is the institution of a private justice system. See, when the cops and the courts are no longer doing the job that they're supposed to do, well, then the people are forced to take the law into their own hands. Like I said, that's slowly but certainly starting to happen. And God willing, or as the Muslims say, Inshallah, there's no need to call the cops. There's no need for any courts. No. If someone violates someone in your family or someone that you love or care about, don't call the cops. It's up to the male members of that family to go and find the aggressor and render unto them biblical justice in accordance with biblical law. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, blood for blood. That's true justice. That's true justice. Remember 3 or 4 years ago, this story about this man whose daughter had been raped by her quote-unquote boyfriend. He was actually more of her captor and her pimp. But anyway, this man, in protection of his daughter's honor and his family's honor, he didn't call the cops. he went and found this punk, put him in the trunk of his car, took him out to some place where no one could hear his screams, opened the trunk, and then delivered under that shit bag biblical justice. That is the way. That is the way. Whether you agree or not. I know a lot of people will say, well, my Bible says the opposite. My Bible says turn the other cheek. Well, of course it does. You've just misinterpreted your Bible. God demands that you jealously guard your family and your loved ones. God demands that you do anything in your ability to not allow those in your family to be violated and harmed egregiously. Only a fool would think otherwise. Only a brainwashed idiot would ever think that his God demands that he allow himself and his family to lay down and be slaughtered by scum. What sort of fool believes such ridiculous things? This is precisely the type of nonsense today's deep church wants to convince its followers of. Absolute nonsense. Just as there is a deep state which has hijacked your government, there is a deep church which has hijacked your religion. It is your duty, your sworn duty, not only as a citizen of this country, but as a follower of God Almighty and all that is righteous, to know the difference. If you can't do any better than that as a protector of your family and a defender and a guardian, then my friend, you should have a millstone tied around your neck and be thrown into the depths, my fine feathered friend. And the same goes for the defense of your country, because the defense of your country is the defense of your family and your loved ones and your way of life. If you can't do any better of a job than that as a defender of your country, if you're going to stand by and wait for some cavalry that's never coming, then that's the best defense you've got to offer to your country, to your loved ones, is to just stand by and wait because you've heard rumors that there's this cavalry, this ghost army coming from the east to save us all. If that's the best you can do, then you should have a millstone tied around your neck, because you've heard baseless rumors that the military is going to intervene and step in and arrest all the bad guys and take them to foreign offshore justice centers and prisons and do away with them. My friend, if you believe that, you're even stupider than you look. And you look pretty stupid, by the way. You know, the same thing happens over and over and over again. All throughout history, various regions of the world, in Russia, in France, different African countries, all over Southeast Asia. Oh, the patriots are going to step in. Oh, there's a plan. Yeah, the good guys are just waiting for the right moment to step in and save the country. Each and every time, it's a setup. The same old playbook every single time. The same old playbook. Distract, propagandize, issue disinformation far and wide, and make sure that the people who have the actual ability to save the country never lift a finger. Keep them thoroughly convinced that the good guys are just right over the horizon. Well, the good Lord is telling you, there ain't no good guys over the horizon. You're the good guys. You're the good guys I sent to save your family, to save your way of life, and to rescue your country. You're the good guys. You're the defender God has sent. You're sorry but capable ass. You're the one your children are depending on. The defender God has sent. And that's one of the most frightening things of all about all this, is the way that the devil manipulates the mind of the defender and convinces him that it's a fool's game, that he's nobody, and has no power, and stands no chance. And the devil, Beelzebub, that old garden variety serpent, has success with this strategy over and over and over again throughout history. The defender lays down his arms and accepts defeat, and in doing so lays down his life and the lives of his family and the lives of his entire country to that old serpent, the devil. And then years of misery and stagnation go by, and the death toll reaches astronomical proportions, and the devil moves on to a new country and starts all over again. A new country, a new land, a new people. Cyclical, perpetual victimhood. All because people are slowly and systematically conditioned not to fight, not to defend, and in doing so, display their disloyalty to God and to nature through their devotion to an obvious illusion that there is somehow an army of good guys behind the curtains, somehow controlling all of the misery and despair for some hidden purpose, some political outcome or agenda. What sort of fool would believe such nonsense except he who is given over to the propaganda of that old garden serpent? When even the beasts of the earth and the fowls of the air would be wise enough to know otherwise. And yes, we have help that is given to us in this time, as always. We must remember that Mr. T and those who come with him, they are merely help. They are not the solution. They are not the end-all, be-all. You are the defender God has sent. And with that, I bid your ass adieu.